Moving into the 21st century, many thought that interstate conflicts had become a phenomenon of the past. Attention shifted to other threats, from failed states and civil wars to terrorism. And yet over the last few years, we have seen an upsurge in interstate crises. With the comeback of crises, the world seems to be heading back to the brink. Decision makers must now relearn the fundamentals of crisis management, how to protect core interests while avoiding escalation to war. Escalation lies at the heart of every crisis. Crises are interactive and self-reinforcing. Without proper management, they can easily spiral out of control. Escalation in interstate disputes was generally seen as a one-dimensional military process, with both sides taking steps up and down a vertical ladder. But that ladder of escalation looks more complicated today. Modern crises spread out over the map, drag out over time, and venture into other domains. The multidimensional nature of crisis makes it hard to control escalation, but not impossible. It's important to lift the fog of crisis, boost our crisis literacy, and enhance our ability to deal with future crises. That is where these 9 insights come in. Gather crisis informatics. Like earthquakes, crises are hard to predict, but their fault lines are not. Recognize where the risk is high, and monitor escalation dynamics at the macro and the micro level. Develop metrics of effectiveness for crisis intervention. Decision makers must look back at past experiences to assess what went right and wrong, so that future interventions can be improved. Manage escalation. Balancing boldness and prudence is both an art and a craft that benefits from professional training. Crisis gains should be practiced often and involve a wider circle of security and defense decision makers. Hybrid crises call for hybrid approaches. Military, economic, informational and cyber tactics are all part of the game. Design a diverse portfolio for crisis management. Develop a flexible set of capabilities and adopt policies to each and every rung or sidestep of the escalation ladder. Different mechanisms of escalation require different deterrent strategies. Separate the opponent's deliberate moves from accidental ones and tailor the right response to each of them. Understand your thresholds and those of your adversary. Know your maneuvering space. Determine beforehand what interests are vital and understand the motivations and constraints of the other. Create a joint crisis grammar. Guns and bombs should never be the first resort. Communication is key to understanding. Hold frequent meetings. Install hotlines. But public diplomacy is also a must. Don't talk the talk if you don't walk the walk. Do not engage in rash chicken games. Do make sure to back commitments with actions and take care to explain them. Tackle crisis stability head-on. No crisis is an island. Structural conditions matter. Before a crisis starts, pay attention to first strike instability. Close off any windows of opportunity before they open and engage your adversaries. Every crisis involves different opponents, domains, and theaters. No crisis can be fully controlled. But if we must deal with crisis, we better come fully prepared. Would you like to know more? Please download the HCSS report Back to the Brink, Escalation and Interstate Crisis at the HCSS website.